Welcome back to Win Fantasy Football. Thank you for joining me. If you hit the like button, subscribe, thank you so much. Now let's go and get started straight to the point. Jackson, he's going to be wide receiver one this week. He's been amazing all year. He has a good matchup this week. And, well, he's even rested from last week coming off the bye. He's going to be obviously a must start, and he is going to be a player that's just going to go wild this week. Sam gets a better matchup this week with Arizona. I know he only had a little over 14 points last week, but this week he's going to get back on track. The Cowboys are number one in pass for a reason, and he's just going to prove it. I believe this week Lamb is going to go wild. Rice has been amazing since he came back. This week against Buffalo, I'm looking for a shootout, so I'm looking for a lot of passes, and Rice is option number one right now. He will be open. He's going to get in the end zone. So for all you people waiting for Rice, this is one of the matchups of what you've been waiting for, and he is going to get his points this week. Puka is still questionable because of his ankle, but however, he has a great matchup this week against the Saints. So if he's good to go, they're saying he's going to be most likely a decision more towards Sunday, maybe even a game time decision. Well, if he's back, look him to still be that number one option over Adams and look for him to get flooded with targets. So if he's ready to go, he's in for a big week. Ja'Marr Chase has been going wild. He's going to continue that against the Bears. I do like this matchup, and you know what? With a better quarterback, he's looking even better. Flacco can actually get the ball in there when he gets separation. Browning was not. So, yeah, with an upgraded quarterback, this guy here is slated for an S-tier week against the Chicago defense. Marvin Harrison Jr. only has 2 touchdowns the whole season. You're saying, how do I have him so high? It's because of the matchup. Dallas defense is horrible against the pass, so I look for Harrison owners. Even if you don't want to start him as a flex, you have to this week. It's against Dallas. So if you guys only have one flex, I'd recommend starting them as your flex. Maybe not a wide receiver too, depending what you have, but definitely this week is a week you have to play him because it's the best matchup he's going to get rest of the year. St. Brown coming off a bye week means he is rested. He doesn't have the best matchup this week, but look for him to get flooded as a number one target. As you guys know, Williams looks like he's not in the game strip. Laporta is 1 week, not 1 week, but this is a guy you can depend to get his targets and his points. So I'm not afraid of this defense. And yeah, he is going to be a must start. Drake does not have a home run matchup this week, but Penix should be coming back. That's going to help a little bit. Kirk Cousins looked bad last week. I know London didn't even play last week, but yeah, I look for him to get the number one target still, and I don't think that's even like debatable, right? Mooney did not look that good. He did not get great separation. So yeah, London's going to get flooded with targets. You should be confident in starting him. It looks like they almost started him last week, so with another week of rest, it looks like he will be good to go. So yeah, he's going to be a must start. Pickens is good to start this week, guys. Against Arizona secondary, I'm not scared. And with the volume that Dallas throws the ball, he's going to get his targets and his points. So yeah, look for Pickens to get in the end zone and get you a lot of points this week. I probably have Waddle way higher than you do, but here's the difference. It's the matchup this week against Baltimore. They're horrible against the pass. So I know the quarterback play's been shaky. Tua looked like he bounced back a little bit last week against the Atlanta Demons, kind of exposed them. But really, the targets are going to go through Waddle. So if you have him, congratulations. He's going to get flooded and he's going to get points. Justin Jefferson has a good matchup against Detroit this week. They're not great against the pass, but my only problem with putting them S tier is the quarterback play. I'm not really trusting JJ. And you know what? They had consistent quarterback play. Justin Jefferson could easily be wide receiver 2 or 3 this year, but he just doesn't, right? So with that being said, I'm a little worried about that. But besides that, he should get his targets, and this secondary is not that great. With the passing volume Cincinnati has, I do feel comfortable starting him. I believe the ball is going to be able to just get out to him and Chase because the tight end's not really a priority getting the ball to. So that's saying I think he's going to get his targets, his points, everything. Good matchup this week. So if you're thinking about starting Higgins in your flex, I say go ahead and do it. Also, the Cincinnati's defense has been so bad, allowing so many points. They do have to pass to catch up, so they're going to be able to really run the ball a lot. So, with that being said, the pass volume should be pretty high. So, yeah, go ahead and start Higgins. Looked amazing against the Jaguars, then had the bye week, so he's coming off rest. If Puka's not ready to go, I'm going to move Adams up, but does look like Adams will be good to go, guys. So either if Puka does play, Adams still going to get his targets, and it's just going to be able to get him off that number one cornerback and get him in different spots. I believe right now Adams is going to be able to get his points regardless. So yeah, I do feel safe starting him against New Orleans this week. Addison feels like a coin flip this week because he has a good matchup, so you do want to start him, but the quarterback play is questionable. So I do believe the pass volume should be there. I just don't know how many good balls he's going to get. I don't believe in this Minnesota backfield as far as rushing, so I believe they're going to have to pass the ball. And yeah, with that being said, he's a coin flip. Be careful. If you have somebody else in your flex, you don't know who to start, ask me down below. Ladd's role has increased the last couple of weeks. See his points going up, and I love the matchup this week. No issue with him. You think about putting him in your flex? Go ahead and do it. Ladd is going to be a guy that is going to be consistent, and the amount of time the Chargers are throwing the ball, he's going to get his targets. Same thing with Keenan Allen, his teammate. I think Allen's going to get a little more red zone targets, so I do feel comfortable starting Allen as well. I think there's so many balls to go around between starting him and Quentin Johnson. I get it. The ball kind of, you don't know who it's going to be. There's Gadsden now taking up targets. That is why they're not so high on the list, because sometimes you don't know who it is. Whose week is it, right? But yeah, I believe Allen does get a bounce back week this week. Last week, I did predict for him to go down in points. This week, I'm predicting him to go up. BTJ has been disappointing, but if you're going to start him, this is the week because of the matchup. If he does not boom this week with this matchup, then I don't know what to tell you, because this guy here has to have the week. This is it. They're talking about trading him. And if you don't know why, if you go watch the game film, he's lackadaisical. And it's because he's being a diva. He's upset about his target, stuff like that. But then when you have an attitude and you go backwards, the team goes backwards on you. So that being said, Hunter is actually taking his targets now. Hunter, they've already talked about him getting more featured. So if you traded for Hunter, you got Hunter, hold on, because I think he's about to be really consistent. Metcalf is here, and he's probably higher than you think, but I love his matchup against the Colts. I know he hasn't got a lot of big targets, like, down the field. He had a couple weeks where he did, but I think this is the week that if you have McCaffrey, this is the week. If you have benched him before, this is the week to start him. So look for him to get his points. Congratulations to the Hunter owners, and you didn't drop him. His workload has increased, and it's going to keep increasing. Talking about trading the number one wide receiver, if that happens, he's just going to go to the moon. He really is. And if you have him, congratulations. If you get him in a trade right now, low, I think he did a good job. Or go get him right now, because he still has some good matchups this week. I mean, this year and this week. I do believe that Hunter is a guy on the rise. He goes back. His injury is not a big deal. He will be able to play this week. So if you're thinking about starting him, go ahead and do it. He's going to get his targets. He's Nico. He's going to get his points. The quarterback play is the problem here. Why I don't have him higher. He could break through and go to the A tier, but right now, come off the injury and the poor quarterback play is why I have him so low. So be careful starting him as a flex. Rome bounced back last week after 2 down weeks, and this week he has a good matchup. So I do look for him to get his points. If you've been starting him for the other weeks, I would say this week is the week you start him. I would not worry about him going back down. The thing is he is playing Cincinnati. Cincinnati is going to score a lot. So the Bears are going to have to throw the ball to catch up to them. With that being said, the Bears are going to abandon the run game a little more than you think. And so Rome should be able to get his targets and his points. So yeah, go ahead and start him. Sutton does not have a great matchup this week, and he had an amazing matchup last week. So is Sutton worth starting? Man, that's a question for the comments, because I need to know who you're going to start besides him. But it is risky this week against this Houston secondary. I would kind of shy away from starting him unless you have to. Anyways, if you have any other questions about Sutton, ask me in the comments. I think Diggs is going to do a little better than other people think. Last week, this Atlanta secondary did get exposed. And I think Diggs could get his points. He's going to be a little bit of risk. We've seen his workload go down and up and back down. So he's been an up and down player all year. But don't let this Atlanta defense scare you because, well, what just happened last week with Miami? How can Miami look good? Miami's looked bad all year. So, yeah, look for Diggs to be reliable. And, yeah, if you think about starting him, yeah, I think you can. Ask me down below if you have somebody else in the flex you're thinking about. One of these targets has gone down since Rice came back, but against Buffalo, it's going to be a shootout. He should get his targets. If you're thinking about starting them and you've been off and on them, I think this is the week you can be on. I think this week they're going to catch up, and I think there's going to be a high-scoring game. So that being said, Worley should be figured in the game plan, so go ahead and start him. Flowers is here, and Lamar's back. So look for Flowers to skyrocket because of the past production, right? They're going to be able to get away from Henry a little more and look for Flowers a little more. So I believe that's going to help Flowers. If you're going to start him, I think this is a good week to start him. And yeah, with Lamar, he's just going to go up. Pittman's been looking good, and you know what? It's kind of scary because you wonder how much is Taylor going to take away, but Pittman has looked good. He's playing good. He's catching in traffic. So yeah, I think he's going to be reliable. I think that he's going to be in the tier of don't know if I should start or not. But with Pittman having a great matchup this week against Pittsburgh, he's a must start. It's a 5-star matchup. So, yeah, look for Pittman to get his points. Johnson's kind of up in the air, right? He hasn't been figured in getting his targets. And right now, it's hard for me to tell you to just invest in him because, well, is he going to get his targets this week or not? He's kind of a coin flip. Be careful with that. The matchup's not bad. They're throwing the ball a lot. But yeah, just know that there's a chance where Ladd gets flooded with targets and so does Allen, and then Johnson gets left out. That's here. I don't like the matchup. I don't like the quarterback. That's why he's not so high on him this week. Green Bay is tough. So look for his numbers to go down. I just not confident. If this is going to be the week you bench him and start someone else, I would not blame. Jennings is here, and I think his numbers are going to go up because of Purdy, right? Purdy coming back is going to help his production. Looks like Ricky's going to be out, and looks like Kittle is going to be there too. So Kittle's going to help spread the field a little bit. They got to kind of guard middle of the field a little more. So I think Jennings is going to be a pretty good play this week for your flex because of the quarterback play being upgraded. So yeah, look for Jennings to actually be reliable. Bolavier has a bad matchup and a bad quarterback. Straight and to the point, that's your answer. Don't start. Debo is not a home run this week because of the matchup or his workload or his targets the last couple of weeks. So be careful. I'm not going to tell you to start unless you really have to, but they just haven't been featuring him. He was figured in like the gadget plays and stuff like that. But with Terry coming back, look for Terry to take some targets away. Myers is here. I don't like the quarterback. I don't like the matchup. I'm moving off of all these Raider wide receivers. So, yeah, Myers, for me, he's a bench. Robinson's here, and he's been getting an okay amount of targets. Look for that to go up because I believe the Giants got a downgrade at running back with Cam going out. With that being said, they're going to pass the ball a little more because I don't think Tracy's going to be able to get as many yards as Cam would on a run play. So I look for them to get just put in longer third down situations. So yeah, Robinson could be a good start at your flex. Williams has not been figured in the game plan. I cannot co-sign him. I cannot tell you what to do with him. I'm just going to tell you, be careful. I'd probably bench him. I don't see him. He's always like home run or nothing. So yeah, go ahead and just bench him. With the Bills, I get it. He's got some points. He doesn't get some points. It's kind of hit or miss. This is a week you could start him because of the matchup. Not because secondary in Kansas City is so bad, it's because they're going to pass so much to catch up. Because Kansas City is going to score on Buffalo. So look for him to get his targets and his points. DJ Moore has been hurt, not involved. It's hard to say to play him with his consistency not being great. I know they featured him in the first quarter, then he just got hurt. But yeah, can he bounce back in the end of the year, be getting a lot of targets and points? Sure. But right now, I cannot tell you to go with him because he's so inconsistent. Dobbs and Golden both have a hard matchup this week. So do I say play them? I say it's very tough. I think the Packers can just run the ball a lot. I stay away from both because you don't know who's going to get targets, who's not. So just be careful with that. Mooney did not look good with this separation. I would go ahead and drop him if I was you. Definitely not dependable. With London coming back, London's going to get fed. So, yeah, Mooney would not be a start this week. Bowman has not been consistent the whole year, so I cannot co sign for you to start him. I don't see that changing unless an injury happens. You could even drop him at this point. But I will say, guys, if you have not seen my video, it is out right now. Quarterbacks, tight ends, and defenses for week number 9. Up next is a running back video for week number 9. That video will be out an hour after this video. So I'll see you in that video. Thank you for subscribing, liking, and all the kind comments. I'll see you very soon.